Well, you all know the Curiosity show, and you know what curiosity is. But what's a Curie? What's a Curie? Well, there are several different kinds of Curie. Perhaps the most famous of all is Marie Curie, who was a woman who lived and worked in Paris. She was born in Poland, and she was one of the most famous scientists of all time. In fact, she was one of 3 famous Curies who were all eminent scientists in their day. The others were her husband Pierre and her daughter Irene, all of them famous scientists, Irene a little after this photograph was taken. Marie and Pierre won the Nobel Prize for a very important discovery that they made, together with some other people as well. They discovered that some atoms, tiny little particles that are too small to see, don't just sit there, but they break down and give out rays. In fact, some rocks have an eerie glow in the dark. Here's Marie working in a laboratory where she discovered radioactivity, the fact that these substances break down and give off rays. Now, some of those rays are quite invisible. Today, we have all sorts of devices that can help us detect radiation. One of those is the Geiger counter. Here it is here. And by bringing this probe up to certain substances, I can find out if radiation is being given off. This powder in front of me is uranium oxide. Watch and listen. You can hear it clicking and you can see the little orange lights whirring. That tells me that there's a lot of radiation being given off from uranium oxide. It's a dangerous substance because that radiation can harm people, but it can also be used to do many important things, like treating disease. Now, that was one Nobel Prize. A little later, Marie won a second Nobel Prize for discovering this element, radium, which she isolated from uranium compounds. And that contains a lot of radiation. There's a tiny little speck in that container. Now, here's a lump of coal. It contains quite a lot of energy. But if I had a piece of radium the same size, I wouldn't be holding it for a start because of the dangerous radiation, but a piece of radium that size contains as much energy as hundreds of lumps of coal. Well, the many important discoveries about radioactivity by Marie Curie help doctors today to treat and control many different kinds of cancer. But unfortunately, towards the end of her career, Marie contracted and died from leukemia, which is caused by radiation.